Hey guys, Rob here from the Off-Grid Tiny House. I picked up a birthday present for myself here, along with a couple other things that haven't arrived yet. But this is for the tiny house, and it's going to be, I'm pretty excited about this one. I was looking at this thing for about a year before I decided to go for it. I was kind of talking it over with friends and stuff. So this is the MotoMaster Nautilus Recreational Power Pack. Now if you guys have been following my channel, you know I have an older model of this, which is basically obsolete now but still works, and it's orange and black in color. And it's got about a 10 amp hour battery in it, and that's what I use at the tiny house for my power, off-grid power. The reason I got this, well, there's many reasons. I'll go over them now, might as well. This power pack has the poles. Here's the positive and the negatives on this side, which means I have access to the battery through those poles, which means I can hook up my charge controller and solar panels to this battery to charge it. So now that makes this completely an off-grid system with a solar panel, a charge controller, run the wires to the poles. That means the sun powers this now. Okay, this has a built-in inverter. It says the power inverter is 400 watt. It's got 800 crank assist amps, and it's got a 33 amp hour deep cycle battery. Now it comes with all kinds of different features. It has jumper cables, which I'll be talking about shortly. So you can boost discharge batteries, provides 12 volt DC, 120 volt AC, and USB power. All things I will use. It also has a built-in 150 PSI air compressor. And I thought, yeah, that when I went to buy this, because it was on sale, I said, wow, yeah, this thing is heavy. Now right here on this label, it says charge immediately upon purchase. So I got my EDC knife here, and I'm going to do just that. And I'm going to probably put it on the charge for 24 hours minimum, just to see. So you guys will be here watching me unbox this thing. Oh wow, very cool. Oh, instruction manual. I'm going to be reading that and try to lift this thing out of here. Wrap my feet around the box so I can lift it up. Okay, and there's nothing else in there except for do not return to store. Yeah, I will, because I have the receipt if it's bugged. Okay. Ooh. So that's what it looks like, guys. Kind of tilt the camera down so you can see. So we have two receptacles, 400 watts each, or 400 watts total, I guess. 5 volt DC USB, 500 milliamp USB port, AC USB on. I'm not going to turn that on. Battery status button. Oh, that's cool. That was definitely not on the other one. Correct connection indicator. Navigation lights. Battery. Charger. 12 volt. Huh. Interesting. Now what does this say? Charge battery immediately upon your purchase and recharge periodically every 3 months. No, I'm going to charge it more than that, because that's just a way to ruin your battery if you don't do it often. Here is the air compressor. Awesome. Look how long that I can do some stuff with it. Compressed air tools. That's kind of neat. That's really cool, actually. It's got an off-gassing smell, guys. Here's the battery ports. Whoops. And they just screw down on top of that. That's awesome. Let me turn this thing. Oops. Make sure that's closed. So I gotta see what's in these side pouches here. Aha. Here are some jumper cables, which I can use, which I will be not using as, oh, these are rated too, 200 amp hour, or 200 amps. So this is, I'm going to use these as my, not as jumper cables, guys. I'm going to take the wire from this and use these for my MPPT charge controller and inverter connections. Hopefully that wire is big enough. 200 amps rating, it says, so we'll find out, I guess. Close that for now. Turn you around, and some 12 volt cigarette plugs and fuses. Huh. Oh, here's the step-down transformer, which I need right now to put this thing on the charge. I'm going to charge this overnight before I even use anything on it, just to be on the safe side. So this is, okay, input 120 volts, everybody knows. Output 13.5 volt DC, 1000 milliamps. Okay, so that may give me, that basically tells me what I should set my charge controller to feed this at, which is kind of nice. So I'm going to plug this in. It's got a long cord. Wow, they didn't cheap out on that. And also there is a cigarette LED light in here. Which I'll have to figure out exactly what the heck that's all about. Okay, but for now, we'll plug our main power into this guy. I believe this is where to plug it, so I'm gonna find out. Charging. Yep. Okay, so that's charging. I'm gonna go read the manual, and I'll get back to you guys with some more video on this guy. And actually, when I stay over at the tiny house for my birthday, guess who's coming with me along with the other power pack, which means I'll have lots of power over there for the night. So, pretty cool, guys. I'll see you in a bit. Hey guys, back again. The battery indicators went from red to green, and I've had it in for about an hour. I read through the book, and it's kind of interesting. it gives you a state of charge chart here, so I'm going to show that to you guys so you can get a good reading of that. And you want to keep it about 75% if at all possible. Okay, charging instructions. This is kind of crazy. I couldn't believe this, so I'm showing it right in the booklet. The MotoMaster Nautilus Recreational Power Pack may take up to 50 hours. You guys see that? I'm not making this up. 50 hours to charge completely, depending on state of discharge, temperature, battery age, and condition. So, obviously it didn't take 50 hours, but if your battery's taking 50 hours to charge, there's serious issues there. Also wanted to show the compressor, air compressor that's built in. It says it's kind of like my DC pump, where it has it's called an intermittent pump. So you can run it for 10 minutes, then you turn it off and let it rest for 10 minutes. And it says right in the manual, if you do not and continuously run it longer than 10 minutes, then you risk of having a fire, because it doesn't have any overload protections. So that's pretty insane, guys. So I gotta, not that I'm inflating tires in the tiny house or anything like that, but I also wanted to show, here's some good stuff here. So the battery inside the power pack. Okay, it's a 33 amp hour 12 volt sealed lead acid deep cycle battery. DC power socket, maximum continuous load 12 amps, overload 12 amps. Okay, here we go. Okay, yeah, the booster cables that came with it are 4 gauge AWG, which should be sufficient for me. You guys will know in the comments. Stu, High Tech Guy 18, will probably jump all over this video for that. Thanks in advance, Stu. Okay, so the inverter has a 600 watt peak surge and a 400 watt max inverter, and with 320 watt continuous. Now that's fine, because my loads that I'm going to use on this thing are a joke, so there's nothing to worry about there. Output voltage 104 to 125 volts. It's a modified sine wave. Now the input voltage range, 10.5 volt to 15.5 volt DC. I'm guessing that would have to do with the how much power the battery would take. So interesting. The other thing I noticed is let's see. I'll turn this guy around and keep him on the charge, even though. So this one is this guy is the air compressor, and then this switch, which is kind of cool, I thought, activates the two poles, so your positive and your negative. So I can actually, it's in the off position now, I can actually turn this on and check this to see if I'm getting juice there, which is kind of cool. So there's actually a switch built in, so I can isolate this from the solar if I had to, type of deal. So pretty interesting, though I have to leave that switch on all the time if I'm solar charging, which is no big deal. Now this also has these marine lights, guys, so this was almost kind of made for boating, I guess, because of the name Nautilus. So pretty crazy. And then it has some kind of internal, if this 12 volt or 12 amp, if you're using a 12 volt appliance, cigarette plug, that's more than 12 amps, there's an internal reset that'll stop giving juice. You have to stop using this, and then it'll slowly automatically reset after a while. So that, I found that pretty neat. And then I'm trying to understand how this works. Okay. Oh, that slides off of there. And then this, if what I read, this, there's like a long cord built in that wraps up. And there's a magnet on the back, hopefully not too close to my camera. So as I pull the cord, which seems to be quite long, it's kind of a neat little design I've never seen before. That's quite a long cord, holy crap. And then if I do this, you just spin it the opposite way and it rolls it back onto the inside by itself there. So that's kind of neat. So yeah, like I say, this would be, if you guys are starting to get interested into solar and backup off grid, I'd get one of these, and then I'd get the a 100-watt solar panel and a charge controller, and you'll have an all-in-one system type of deal. So, and they're pretty simple to wire. I will show how to wire them in coming videos. Probably not till the spring of next year though. But for now I'll run it off the main power and bring it over there and have a bunch of fun. So we'll try this guy out. So I'm going to leave this guy probably going for 2 days straight on the charge, just in case. Because the thing about buying batteries from stores, guys, you don't know how long they've been sitting there or in a warehouse or whatever. So the best thing to do is give them a good charge for like 48 to 72 hours before use. And then you'll know for sure how good the stuff is, type of deal. There we go. That's kind of a neat little setup. And then this actually is 12 volt to 12 volt. So I can plug this into here, and then this is kind of this can shoot way over to another cigarette plug type of deal. And then there's some, I'm not sure what these are. We'll open this up. I don't know. Oh, I put my knife away. Okay, we'll see what these are anyway. I can always put them in the other Ziploc. Not quite sure what these are. You guys will let me know. Oh, these are tires. This is a stem for a tire, as far as I know. And then I'm not sure what the point of this is. Huh. Very strange. Yeah, I'm not quite sure on this stuff. This must be for the pressure hose, the air compressor. You guys let me know. I know this looks like the pressure hose for filling inflatable balls and stuff like that. So you guys let me know what you think. Yeah. So basically the jumper cables I will not be using, because I'll have the jumper cables from my dad's setup. So these 4 AWG wires will be connected to the battery that I will be getting, and then since I'll make them as short as possible, this end will connect to a bus bar for the battery and inverter and everything. And then I'll cut it off up here and attach that to the MPPT charge controller, and then use the rest for the inverter connection. And I guess I can just keep these clamps for whatever reason, I guess. There should be a way to get those out of there easy. I'll find out. But I'm pretty happy with the setup, guys. I won't know how well it works until I, test everything out on it. And I'll give you updates on that. But pretty neat. Pretty neat. I'm gonna basically use this to power anything I can in the tiny house. So we're talking television, computer, hard drives, fans, anything like that. Along with my other power pack, which will run the same amount of stuff, but just not as long. This one is about 3 times larger capacity than the orange-black one that I've seen me use with.